Welcome to your blog, finance, and performance tracker. And before we get started, I want to thank you so much for investing in this spreadsheet. I sure hope that you find it helpful and that it continues to provide you useful information throughout the coming months and hopefully years, because you will be able to adapt it for years to come. When you purchased your product, you hopefully received an email, and in that email confirmation, there should have been a link to this video and a link to your spreadsheet. When you open your Google Sheet, you should see something that resembles very close, if not exactly, what you see on my screen. And you'll see that it says view only. So we want to start by being able to edit this document. So I've basically sent you the locked version, and I want you to create your own unique name and file so that we can keep that original safe and sound. So if you go under File, drop down to Make a Copy, and then I want you to name it something that you'll be able to remember or find. So maybe it is blog finances. So I'll put in Sarah's blog finances and performance. And then hit OK. And Google Sheets will automatically create your own document that is the exact replica of what you received. That's what you want to start with. And you'll also notice that, as I mentioned, when you were investing in the product, there are 12 tabs, January through December. They are all exactly the same, so I will show you how to manipulate and use one tab, and then I know you'll be able, and you are smart enough to be able to use those same skills to update as you go throughout the year. So here on your income side, which is the level above, I want you to see that there's the date. So we would want to capture the date of any transaction that we have. So if on New Year's Day you wrote a sponsored post for, let's say it was Weight Watchers, that would be where you would want to put that, and you can always make that cell just a little bit bigger by clicking on that line and drawing it over. And let's say then I put these example amounts in. I would advise you to go through and delete all of the example amounts. Let me repeat that. Go through every tab. They all have the top 4 lines filled with examples, just so you can see where it's at. But I don't want that to skew your data and your reporting. So on this one, this would be sponsored post Weight Watchers. And then I would put over here, let's say it was $25. But you're going to say that's not other income. Like I left you 4 sources that you can manipulate any way you want. So we would put sponsored post right here. But all of these titles right here can be changed to whatever you want. Whatever you want. I would say try to keep them consistent on every month tab. So if you change ebook, let's say you don't sell any ebooks, and you change that to, I'm going to say, let's say sponsored post here, just for fun. Okay, so then I would want you to go through on February and change that same cell, and March and April, so that they're always consistent. Whatever you name it up here should be the same on every month's sheet. Okay, so you're going to go through and record the date, the name or short description of what you're receiving income for, and then go across horizontally and find the correct column that you would want to record it in and type in that dollar amount. You will do that for every item of income for the month of January. And you'll notice these cells are gray over in here. This is where you should manipulate data. The blue or aqua cells, do not touch. I have already set up formulas in there, so you do not have to do that add up horizontally. So you do not want to touch the aqua cells here or down below, because again, I've already put formulas that are totaling or summing up all the activity in the columns above. And this far right number right here, where I'm circling with my mouse, that would be your total income for the entire month of January. It's pretty straightforward, but the main thing is to remember, do not manipulate the the aqua cells above. I'm teaching my boys the color purple, so forgive me. Down below, you'll see January expenses. Same principle here. So if you signed up for ConvertKit, on January 1st and it's $30 a month and you got your first receipt, you would type in ConvertKit, maybe even put ConvertKit monthly fee, and then that would be $30. Same with if you use lead pages, Facebook ads, and again, you can manipulate these headers right here to be anything relevant to your business. All right, so again, only manipulate the cells that are colored in gray. The aqua or blue, however it's displaying for you, that is a formula that I've set up. And again, the far right bottom corner right here would be your total expenses for the month. And then this big bolded number is your net profit for the month. And that is how you use the monthly tabs. If you have any questions, and I failed to mention this at the beginning, but if you have any questions that I do not answer in this short tutorial, please reach out to me. Just respond to any of those emails, or my email is sarah@creatingbettertomorrow.com, and I'm happy to help with any specific questions, or if we need to jump on the phone for a quick call, we can always do that. So then as you go through your months, you'll see they're all exactly the same. So it should be very easy to remember how to use this. There's nothing hard to it. Just remember that you'll want to clear out all the example data, and you'll want to try as hard as you can to keep these headers consistent. So then you'll get to December, and if you hit this little arrow right over here, scroll all the way to the right, there's a few more hidden tabs. There's this annual tab, and you'll see almost everything is blue. This one is just for you. You do not have to do anything to see your total income by month, and then for the total for that 12-month period. And again, for the expenses and your net profit. So do not manipulate any of the numbers here. This is all formula driven. As long as you follow those directions for January through December, your annual tab should be completely correct when you get there. And then I put in these 3 bonus tabs that you probably remember me mentioning in the product description. I added accounts receivable because this was something that I started doing very early on, because most projects that you work on, unless it's a service that you provide or a product you provide, you are not paid immediately. So if you are doing blog post reviews, even some ad networks or affiliate programs, you do not get paid immediately. You might get paid 30 days, 45, 60. They can make their own terms. And I would hate keeping track of all of that by just pen and paper and on Post-it notes. And when I first started, it seemed just fine. Just have one Post-it note. But then as my projects grew, not so much in dollar amount, but frequency, those Post-it notes weren't serving me. So I would encourage you, this entire spreadsheet can be manipulated in any way that you need it to be. But put the person that's paying you, the payee, the payment due date, and the payment amount, and then any notes that you might have about that, like if you're going to receive the payment via PayPal, if you have to pay the PayPal fees, or if they have to pay the PayPal fees, anything that you might need to remember, I would put that over here. And then I would also encourage you to include there, like if they were late the last time and they're late again, maybe put those in the notes so you can remember to evaluate that relationship. And then as they pay, just put a simple Y in this column. So it's really just for you. You can manipulate this if you don't like this system. If you are a Post-it note person and you just don't want to do it this way, that is fine. You don't have to use this tab. It's not feeding into any other tabs. If you continue on to the far right, you'll see the social media tabs. I really like these tabs because I have really made a conscious effort to grow my social media following and my blog following. And so I like to be able to see all of that along with my financial data. This I've created for all of the social platforms that I use, which I recognize are not all of them. So I've put Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You can read all of the ones I have here. All you need to do is go in every month. I would encourage you to do this the same day of every month. Just go in once. Don't get hooked up on looking on your followers or your likes. And input the number of followers. So if you had 1,000 in January and then you had 1,200, this right here in the aqua cell is going to show you the percentage of increase every month. And again, that's the same for any platform. And I did, as I mentioned, recognize I don't use all platforms. So I've created 3 extra blank right down here. You could just type in the title of the platform you're using, and then you can create your own because I've already done all that work for you. And again, I think these are great as an extension to your media kit. If you have one, or if you don't, you can always offer this information to brands that you might be working for. You can say, I've seen a 20% growth in my Twitter followers over the past month, and I feel like I can really reach out to people on my Twitter platform. So you can really provide that data to them. And or if you do not want to use it for other brands, you can use it for yourself and make notes down here, as you saw, notes on strategies that you've implemented and the results you've seen. Very similar tab right here as we go to the last tab with the blog statistics. These are strategies or areas where you can also note strategies on how you perhaps wrote your blogs, if you targeted them towards your audience a little bit more. So notes down here, just like that other tab. And then these numbers should be pulled right off of your Google Analytics dashboard. So if you don't have Google Analytics, if you're just starting out, I would encourage you to get that installed on your blog. And if not, and if you do, then these terms probably are familiar with you. But I would encourage you, again, to go in there once a month, input those numbers. You'll see the percentage change over here in the aqua that you're not touching, and that will easily show you the increase or decrease and provide just a little bit more insight into your blog activity. That's all there is to the Blog Finance and Performance Tracker. I know that it is a great, useful tool, and I hope those monthly emails that you will begin receiving in January, if you're buying this in December with the release, and if you buy it in the future, you'll receive an email every month for the next 12 months on the 28th of the month. So hopefully those reminders will get you in the habit of updating all these gray cells. And the great thing about this Google document is you do not have to save it because it's already saving for you as you go. So again, thank you so much for investing in me, investing in your blog, and investing your time in listening to this video. I sure hope the video tutorial was helpful. And again, if I left any stone unturned or question unanswered, reach out to me, Sarah, at creatingbettertomorrow.com, or hit reply to any email that you may have received from me in the past few weeks.